Today I'm going to be replacing the glass in a welded vinyl window. It's a single hung. This particular one is made by American Craftsman. The glass is going bad in it. It's double pane. I've already done one. This is the first one I've already done, and you see how opaque and unclear and messed up this is inside. The way you can check that is if you think it's a dirty window, just clean the window real good on inside and outside. If it looks like this one was really bad, so I did the worst one first. You can see how bad it is. The one I'm getting ready to do that I'm going to show you with today is not as bad, but it's starting to go. If you look up at the top corners, and you see it all through it. See the little spots and the cloudiness in there in the glass? It does not come off. And if you go along, it's all over the whole thing. It's easier to see when it's up over a thing, but you can see it. It's all throughout the whole thing. So this one is going. It's on its way to looking like this other one that's so cloudy. The first thing you have to do with these things is to get these glazing beads out, which is just a trim. This is the inside of the window. Mine has a top handle for pulling it up. On this model, these are from, and so what you have to do is you have to get this piece out. These do not pop out with a razor blade. What you have to do is take a screwdriver, stick it in here, and pop it. Turn it. Be careful. This is hard to do without the thing, without marring the window, especially holding the camera. But see, it pops out, and just go along. Once you get it started, it comes out pretty good, and pulls out just like this, and it goes along. It comes right out. See, in this little tank, this little lip right here is what goes up under into the frame. There's a little slot in the frame. Pull them off. So if you look, go to the other end, you can see that the sides need to come out first because they're on top. This is the bottom, and this is the side. So the sides need to come out, and then the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back. I've note, as you're pulling these out, I'm working on the top one now. Once you get it started, just quit using the screwdriver and use your hand. And just pull, but come down close to where it's still attached, as close as you can, and pull, and work your way down like this until you get them out. That way, if you pull too hard on it from the very end, you might wind up breaking the glazing strip. So let me get the bottom one off, and again, I'll be back. Once you have the glazing bead all off the window, this is what it looks like without it. And this is the inside of the window, which would be inside the house. As you can see, the corner is probably the best place. You can see the edge of the glass there inside the frame. Also notice that there are, on these American Craftsman windows, they have little rubber stoppers. Don't lose these, because you need them to go back in there to kind of help center the new piece of glass into the window. So there's one there, there's one there, there's one right here. You can almost see it, and there's one in the middle, right there, and then there's one more down at this end. So when you get the glass out, you'll be able to get to them. You have to get them out anyway to be able to clean up the frame real good. Now at this point, you can measure the window. If you don't already have your piece in, you can measure the actual glass so that you can order it and don't have to be without a window while you're waiting for the glass to come. I knew the size of mine, so I've already got the new pieces of glass, and I'm ready to go. So I will flip this thing over, and we'll start taking the actual glass out of the frame and show you the technique that I found that works the best. To remove the glass, I found it best to take a little razor blade like this, and get it started. This is outside of the window, and you take and angle it a little bit like this, and just kind of work it like that up in between the glass and the frame. Get it in there, pull it out, and do it again down here, just to kind of get things started. The razor blade doesn't go far enough in there to actually cut all the caulking. You see, it only goes that far, and the caulking comes usually squished out back to here. So I get a few areas just like that, just the length of the razor blade, come back, get under there just to get it started. Makes it a little easier. Go all the way around the window doing this on the top, sides, and bottom. And we just do that. I'm just going to do this one side to try to show you. This is what I got to do for the whole window. Then what I do is I take, with this little holder thing, I can't push it in there with the without the starter things here. So what I do now is I'll take a razor blade out of this thing, or get another one if you can push it out. There it goes. That way you don't cut you, and be careful you don't cut your hand. And what I do is I take and stick it in here, hopefully by hand. If it doesn't want to go, take a screwdriver and carefully push it and make sure your hand's not on the other side in case it slips. Get it started in there like that. People talk about putty knife. I've had zero luck getting a putty knife in there. Once you get it started, then you just take, because it doesn't matter if you break this glass. Really try not to break it, but if you scratch it, it's not going to matter because you're replacing it. And then take your screwdriver, however you can do it, and you push it along. Of course, it's going to fight me. I think I'm going to have to come back. The razor blade needs to get one corner stuck in, the one closest towards you, and then take the screwdrivers the way I. Now this is going to roll in, but once it start moving, it usually goes pretty good. This one's extremely tight. Push it in there good like that. Just take and go like that. And you just push around the length of it, and that's cutting the caulking loose in there. See, the razor blade naturally comes back in, but once you get it going, it goes pretty dang good. Just like that, all the way to the point. Get one all the way up underneath there. Okay, now I got to get the razor blade out, so you just work the razor blade like that, get behind the end of it, and pull it. Now see, you can come around this side. If you look in there, you can see the glass is free from the vinyl. See how it's about free in there? And we're going to have to do that all the way around the window, and then I'll come back. This is the last side of cutting it out. I just wanted to show you how easy it goes. Once you get the rhythm of it, just pushing that razor blade along like that, and how it rides in there. And you just go, this should be my last cut. Of course, it's going to mess up here at the last bit. And you just taking my razor blade's falling apart. I don't think I've ever had one do that before, but no big. When you do the window, when you get to this point where it's just the corners are usually what sticks, don't get it free and just start torquing on it, because this is just vinyl and you could break your window sash. So what you do is come over here like this and put your thumb and just kind of push down and right there close to it. Don't try to use leverage to do it or you will break your window frame. And there it is, all apart. This is what you look like. It looks like when you get the glass out. And if you feel right here and look, you can't really see it because it's clear silicone, but you can see, I do it with a screwdriver. See all that? Every bit of this has to come out or you won't get a good seal. And what I like to do and found works best instead of a razor blade is a good new screwdriver with a hard edge like that right there. And you can push it at an angle and just push down with not much pressure. And it just comes right up. Most of it will peel right out, and then you just have to keep going over it until you get it all out, get all the rest of it out. And then after you think you've got it, scrape it out, work it out of there, get all those pieces out. I'm just gonna do a little bit right here in the corner. This is what I'm gonna do all around the whole thing. Then you take and feel with your finger, and if it feels perfectly smooth where you're down to nothing but vinyl, then you're good to go. I was gonna show you, these are the little spacers that are around the window. There's two on the top, two on the bottom, and you can actually see where the glass was resting on that one, and those have to be put back in when you do. So I'm gonna clean up this whole window frame and then come back. Okay, got everything all cleaned up, all the silicone cleaned out of there. You can look around and see there's really nothing in there at all. You just got to keep going over it. Sometimes you got to scratch with the fingernail, get things going, but that's what the whole thing looks like, all cleaned up. Now we're just going to apply a bead of silicone right here about the middle of this track. If you notice right here, the reason you can't use a scraper, I'll go ahead and tell you this, use a screwdriver, is right here. You can kind of see it now that it's cleaned up. There's a little lip right here, so a scraper won't sit flat down in this little part right here. So a screwdriver is really the best bet that I found. You can't use a razor blade obviously because you'll scratch up the plastic. So screwdrivers, I use two different sizes. I use this size for the major, and then for any additional cleanup I just use one that looks like, you know, a little bit smaller one like that, and just push down on it using the same technique as I showed you in the beginning a little while ago. And we're going to put some caulk on this thing and set the new piece of glass in. It's back in. You see it's in there. I'm starting the trim. I'm one-handed, one person trying to do the camera, but I've started the bottom glazing piece. You see I started it right there. See where it's not in there? The top and the bottom have to go in first, and then the sides. To get it going, I take a pair of channel locks like these, and I found that's the easiest way to do it. Just very carefully put it on there, and it doesn't take a ton of effort, but it pops right in real easily. You just go along and do like that. to install the glaze and reinstall the glaze and bead. Just be careful you don't hit your glass. And it just, you can hear it popping right back in there. So I'm going to do that all the way around the rest of the window. Here's the window all put together, glaze and bead in, completely done, and ready to go back into the window. Thank you for watching.